How do you do that every week?
Woody's at his age.
Welcome to the Jets Afterburners podcast. New York Jets stand 16, and Liam will be back one of these days. One of these days, he will be back. Again, welcome. Again, this is Thursday night. It's Afterburners night here. And again, we are 0-6 in case you forgot. And unfortunately, this is a start to the season that we wished we could just forget. But with that being said, you know what? I'm a half glass full type of guy. And I think this is a good thing. This is a good thing that we're 0-6. We're seeing the true colors. We're seeing adversity. How Aaron Glenn is trying his best right now as we speak to right this ship. Not only is he trying to rectify a lost season, but he's trying to see what kind of men he has in that locker room. Anyone going to stop listening to him? Are there going to be players that are going to start checking out? It's interesting, you know, because you start looking back at how this all started. This all started early this year, in which we had a Pro Bowl quarterback already on the team by the name of this guy. Just check out what he just did just now. It is Thursday night football. Thursday night. It's got to be a quick one. Check this out. Look at this 55-year-old who was on the team. Look, this is Aaron Rodgers. Look at the strike. Bam, touchdown. The New York Jets said, nope. We do not like your services here, Aaron Rodgers. We're going in a different direction. Instead of going straight, we're going to make a sharp left and crash right into a wall. That's exactly what the New York Jets did. They could have recreated a season that the Pittsburgh Steelers are having right now. Right now, the Steelers have a formidable offensive line, good run game, very good run game. But the only thing that's really missing with the Jets right now is a quarterback on that offensive side of the ball. But just the mere fact that Aaron Glenn, fan favorite, I'm going to raise my hand on that one, fan favorite as a player, the number 31 Texas A&M phenom, I will always be a fan of his as a player. The first 6 games in the offseason, the draft, and all these decision makings to make up this roster, I am not a fan of. I'm not a fan of that, Aaron Glenn. It started off right there, saying no to Aaron Rodgers. And a lot of us, we applauded that. We don't know any better. Oh, we're tired of this Aaron Rodgers. We don't want this. We want to go in a different direction. So we traded away. We said, you know what? The idea of Aaron Rodgers, the Pro Bowler, the Hall of Famer, out the window. We prefer giving $20 million or more, whatever that number was, to a failure, a failed project in Chicago, at Pittsburgh. And we said, you're the guy. You're the guy, Justin Fields. And to prove that they made a mistake, but they don't want to acknowledge it, last Sunday in England, they would not pull him. Why? Why are the Jets always doing this? Every single regime, they don't want to pull a quarterback in order to win the game. Robert Saleh, the jogger, the one that liked running up and down the stairs, the one that defenses used to run up the scores on our offense, did the same thing, I believe in 2023, or 22, where Zach Wilson was having a horrendous game against the Pats up in Foxborough. Could have pulled them. Could have put Mike White in there. Win the game. That could have been the difference of us making the playoffs that year. We're 0-5. 0-5 in England. The game was right there, folks. Make no mistake, as much as I like to crap on Aaron Glenn, the defense came up and played a hell of a game. They did. They showed up. Aaron Glenn should have benched Justin Fields. But the thing is, if you realize it, right before the half, we did a fake punt, right? It took balls, right? It took guts. But unfortunately, before the half, he didn't have brains. Instead of throwing a Hail Mary or doing something, he ran out the clock. Even Garrett Wilson is saying, what the heck is going on here? What is this? You just fired a guy, Robert Saleh. You supplanted him with this guy who has no clue, no sense of what being an NFL head coach is all about. Now he's injured. Garrett Wilson is injured. This week should be very fun against the Carolina Panthers. We're home. We have no receivers, no quarterback. Tyrod should play, but I'm glad that they're keeping Justin Fields out there. I'm glad. I've gotten to the point where we need to start losing. Enough is enough. If we're going to do things the right way, we need to continue to lose football games. As much as many Jet fans don't want to hear that, this is a rerun. If we continue doing what we're doing, trying to win meaningless games, trying to salvage a nonsensical head coach, trying to develop a scrub at quarterback. I'm sorry. Did I miss something? Did I miss how bad the New York Jets are in 2025? It's synonymous to the Rich Kotite years. So many young Jet fans have not gone through that. What you're going through right now, we went, the old schoolers, for 2 years. Now ask any old schooler, and you new schoolers are probably going to answer the same way. Do you want to see this next year too? How much more do you need to see of this, New York Jets fans? You need to see the Jets get destroyed this Sunday at 0-7. Then next week, 0-8 before the bye. Let me make something crystal clear. Every loss that the New York Jets continue to take, and don't give me this Dan Campbell comparison. Stop it. It's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. It's going to get to the point where it's going to break some Jets fans' back. The ones that are still trying to make excuses for Aaron Glenn. All of these Jet fans, I've come to the resolution. Aaron Glenn is not a good head coach in the NFL. Defensive coordinator, still up for debate. Good guy, but we're not talking about him personally. I'm talking about him as a New York Jets head coach. He is god-awful. He is horrible. This is one of those things that you don't say, oh, yeah, I want him back. I want to see him build a roster and grow as a coach. It's not happening. We were saying the same thing about Bowles, the same thing about Robert Saleh. Aaron Glenn is not a legitimate head coach. Yes, Johnny boy. Yes, I understand it's his first year. But what more do you need to see? I think what many Jet fans fail to realize at 0-6 is how bad it's going to look at 0-14, at 0-16. That's how bad it's going to get with this New York Jets team. They are not well coached in every facet of this football team. However you cut it, they're not there. They're not. And if you think that next year, what's going to change next year? What's going to change? So you're telling me, Luca, I'm going to bring you up in a second. You're telling me that you fully, with your whole Jets fandom, trust a guy in Aaron Glenn who called up Aaron Rodgers, hey, listen, can you meet myself and Doug Muji, our new GM? Do you want to talk to him? Yeah, here you go. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Yeah. No, we would like to have a meeting with you. If that's cool with you, you know what I mean? Like, we respect you. You're a Hall of Famer. We would like for you to fly cross country. We'd like to have a conversation with you. Oh, yeah. No, of course. Absolutely. Aaron Rodgers' heart was playing for the New York Jets. Let that sink in for a second. Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Famer, is playing lights out right now at Pittsburgh, and so many Jet fans are like, oh, screw him. Flew across here, sat down, and Aaron Glenn and Mooj had the audacity to say, Aaron Rodgers, this organization is going to go in a different direction. That is what you feel, Jets fans, that they're going to make the right choice at selecting the first overall draft pick? What kind of delusional track mind can you get? Stop. If there's a better option out there, and there will be better options, there's one guy out there that would blow all of these New York Jets ex-coaches out of the water since Rex. Mike McCarthy. Oh, no, not him. Again, I don't understand this. How Jet fans say no to a Super Bowl winning head coach, but yes for this guy that breakdances, a clown. Sorry, he's a clown. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So many came to bat for him. Yeah, that's him. He's dancing. Instead of turning around, looking at his defense and say, we got to stop him now. This is by far a miracle. I love the fight, guys. Hone in. Steve Wilkes, come here. While they're celebrating over there, they have every right. Special teams, they did a great play. Come, let's go. No, he started his touchdown in the end zone dance. That's what he was doing. That's who I trust, who I have to put my trust in. I'm sorry, you guys are beyond on the error side. There's no way that I'm going to trust Aaron Glenn. Now, they're 0-6. I would love to eat my words. I would love it. I hope the Jets win 6 or 7 games. Give me that. Give it to me. I like it or not. Right now, I'm pulling for them to lose. I want a franchise quarterback. I want this job to be so enticing. I want Woody Johnson to say, you know what? It's time for a big time change. I need my Leon Hess moment. I'm sorry. The roster is what the roster is. And you do what you have to do as a head coach. You could have Joe Montana back there, Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, Anthony Munoz at left tackle, Jonathan Ogden at right tackle, Jim Lachey at one of the guards, Dermonte Dawson at center. When you have a poorly coached team, how the game ended in the first half, it doesn't matter who you have there. He's lost. In the way his bravado against the New York media, win something first. Win something, coach. You didn't win shit. Nothing. You have 6 losses attached to your resume as an NFL head coach. You're telling me you have the balls to start talking to the New York media that will eat you alive? Next question. Next question. What kind of question is that? Shut up. Win a game, coach. Change the narrative. Same old Jets. We're not the same old Jets. We're worse. We're horrendous. We're the worst team in the NFL, National Football League. Laughing stock. Who are you changing? What are you doing? Well, I said my piece. I'm going to bring on Luca. And Luca, bring it on. What's up, brother?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, Dan? What's going on, chat? Hope all is well. Dan couldn't have said it any better. I will disagree with the Rodgers point. I will disagree because let's put it to you this way, right? Joe Beningo brought this up on his podcast. I know he's an old soul, and I know that he might not have his fastball as he used to be, but he did bring up a good point. What if the Broncos, and this is like, oh, you're hating on the Jets defense, blah, 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 blah. Okay. What if the Broncos were calling this game conservative? What if they were calling this game conservative in the respect of, hey, the Jets are not going to score many points. Let's just edge them out to win. Because we know we don't have to score many points. Think about it. Let's go back to 2023, right?
Makes sense.
Throughout some of those games, the Raiders didn't score many points against us. The Eagles didn't score many points against us. All these teams in the middle of 2023, when we had Zach Wilson as quarterback, it's the same thing with Justin Fields. These teams, the Broncos played a conservative, and they still won. The game was there for the taking. Jets still didn't win. Right. The Jets lost because of quarterback play and coaching, especially that horrific halftime time management before the half. And Aaron Glenn, you're absolutely right, Dan. And, I know Johnny's going to cheer it on, and I'm not going to obliterate him, obviously, because he's my guy. But these fans that are cheering on Aaron Glenn, like, yeah, Glenn, you show them. We hate the beat reporters, all these different things. It's such a lack of self-awareness. And to think that this guy, Aaron Glenn, played in the New York market, number one. Number two, as a member of one of the worst Jets teams of all time, you would think he would have some self-awareness to say, hey, you know what? This team's 0-6. Let me not talk so big or talk so tough. He has no right to talk tough to the media. I don't care. Is it one thing if you're 2-4? There's one thing if you're 3-3 or whatever. You could go on whole down the list. He's not a good head coach. He's probably I'm going to say it, the worst head coach in the NFL right now because Brian Callahan just got fired. And Dan, you brought up next year, right, with the rookie quarterback and all that. Do we want a Titan situation with the Jets next year where we, once again, don't have any foresight and say, hey, you know what? This guy sucked in his first year. We're going to keep him because he needs to get his quarterback. Then the same incompetence is just going to continue. And they were like, you know what? We should have done it last year, but now we're going to fire you midseason. Imagine what kind of stress that puts on a rookie quarterback. Again, I said this, I think in my therapy show, I said this. You're not only drafting you're not firing Glenn and hiring someone. You're right, Dan. I have a proven name in Mike McCarthy. Not the greatest name, but you need a proven name, and you also need someone to set the winning culture. You need a winning culture around the quarterback. You need weapons around the quarterback. You need an offensive line around the quarterback. You also need an offensive system in which the quarterback can thrive in. Absolutely. None of which I am hopeful in right now. Garrett Wilson, fine. He's hurt. It is what it is, unfortunately. Garrett Wilson never missed a game with the Jets. Now he's hurt because his quarterback decided to nearly kill him. And once again, being all great. And Aaron Glenn, so much for being this big, tough guy, boasting to the media, all these different things, is caring about the word perception. I didn't want to give off the perception that, blah, 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 for me benching Justin Fields. No, there's no perception. The only perception would be like, okay, he actually did something right for a change. Because it's not Justin Fields. You didn't draft him first overall. You didn't draft him second overall. He's not a rookie quarterback. He is a reclamation project at quarterback. And Glenn, once again, being snippy with the media is a lack of awareness on him. And as I said in my tweet, I think it was yesterday, I was like, everyone, I present to you Joe Judge 2.0. But even Joe Judge, even Rich Kotite, even Adam Gase won games in their first year with the respective teams. Joe Judge with the Giants, Gase, and Kotite with the Jets. And then, obviously, you've seen the worst football. This is our young and it was I'd say it was a consensus among you guys to say most of you old school fans at the time, 95, 96, where you're like, guys, this is really, really crappy football. And I'm being PG about it, of course. But now you have fans, not calling out Johnny Boy, but this is the truth, where you're having fans justify it, saying, it's year one. It's year one. I've said it multiple times. We've seen organizations look competent and turn around in fewer than 3 years. Well, Dan, let me ask you this. This is an arbitrary question, of course, it's rhetorical. What about next year? Let's just say Glenn stays. The Jets win like 3 games. They pick their quarterback. What's the expectations, Dan? Because the expectation, in my opinion, from most of this fan base is going to be like, well, they got to win 7 games this year. Not make the playoffs, win 7 games. And then we're waiting till the year after to say, hey, we got to make the playoffs this year. No, that's not the expectation at all. I would rather reset. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I mentioned my nickname for Sauce Gardner, who's Soft Gardner. I'm going to mention my nickname. I'm going to mention my nickname for Darren Muji, Muji the Stooge. I would rather reset the entire organization and clean out the entire thing, the scouting department, the coaching staff. Because people were saying, oh, what were you expecting? I was not expecting playoffs. I said on my preview show, they should be able to win 7 games. They probably will win 5. We're nowhere close to that. This team, let's see, besides the Cowboy game, the Steeler game, right? The Steeler game and the Bronco game, which you could argue, which I just mentioned, they probably called it close to the chest. What other games have been competitive? Aside from spurts, that largely you could say, okay, the Jets had a chance to win this game because they were battling back and forth. Was that Buffalo? No. Was that Miami? No. Was that Tampa? For a portion in the fourth quarter, yes. Was that Dallas? No, because they blew us right out of the water. And that team was missing, once again, CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin, majority of their offensive line. They were the worst defense in the NFL, yet we got
killed us.
They killed us.
They killed us. And now this team right now that we're playing against on Sunday, we match up very well against them, right? That's what they say. Now, let's say, for argument's sake, we get blown out at home again, 30+. This is okay. This is acceptable. Again, Wild Wave, I love you. But you say a lot of things that I've heard before. We have been rebuilding a sandcastle since 1970.
And the Waves have just crushed it back and forth. I will also
Wild Waves have been crushing it.
Wild Waves. But also, like, we've seen turnarounds. Like again, people are going to come at me and say, well, they had a quarterback. Well, here's the thing. Here's to poke that little hole in your logic, right? Dan, who made the decision to go forward with Justin Fields as quarterback? Justin Fields, not Jameis, not Russell Wilson, not even Aaron Rodgers, who I said I don't think would have been better on this team because he would be battling against a bad defense, which I still think they're bad, whatever. Rodgers, Fields, Wilson, you name it. Nah. Well, let's just stick with I meant to say Rodgers, Wilson, Winston, whoever. Nah, let's stick with Justin Fields. This kid's a reclamation project. We're going to try to rebuild him. But we have a quarterback's coach who's really a running back's coach and an offensive line coach who's really a tight end coach. You see where I'm getting at? It's almost like they're out of position. And again, you talked up all this nonsense. Win now. He said that at the combine. He said win now. He also talked about being competitive, which majority of the games have been competitive. And it's not being a negative fan. It's me taking the glasses off and saying, you know what? This is pretty crappy here, guys. 6 games into it, I'm not impressed for somebody to talk big words. Let me say this for the record, because I know Johnny Boy's saying this roster is absolutely flawed. We can all agree. We could talk about Joe Douglas. We could talk about, the moves that were made this offseason, right? This roster still has talent. For a team that has Will McDonald, Harrison Phillips, Quinnen Williams, and Jermaine Johnson, the D-line. You have Jamin Sherwood at linebacker. You have Sauce Gardner, again, who has talent. I'm sorry, I should have said Soft Gardner. Let me correct myself. Mm-hmm. Soft Gardner at the cornerback position. Okay, that's a decent chunk of your defense that's filled up with playmakers, even Quincy Williams, or I should say should be impactful players. Offensive line is still intact. You have John Simpson. Everybody predicted that they were just one piece away from the offensive line. And I'm not a Joe Douglas fan. I'll just say this for the record. Not a Joe Douglas fan. Majority of that offensive line was built before Aaron Glenn got here. They drafted men. Fine. I was in agreement with that decision. Breece Hall's still here. Isaiah Davis is still here. A majority of this roster last year and this year is the same. Yes, no Devontae Adams, no Chuck Clark, no Aaron Rodgers. Okay. So if that's the case, that this roster is so unbelievably flawed, it is flawed. But it's a barren roster, I keep hearing from fans. Then why are you guys expecting Aaron Rodgers to overcome that type of incompetence last year?
So this is my counter to that, right?
Yeah.
Like when they say, this roster doesn't have the players. Mm-hmm. So in 96, the same was said, but it was funny because in 97, when Parcells came, these same players flourished. Mo Lewis, absolutely. Neil O'Donnell, Aaron Glenn,
of course,
Keyshawn, and Wayne Krebet. One knew who the hell Wayne Krebet was. Victor Green, another one. Here we have Quinnen and Quincy Williams, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner. We can go on. And it's not that bad. It's not 0-6 bad. This is, I think, what we're trying to get at. No one expected playoffs, Wild Wave and Johnny Boy. No one expected that. Jermaine Johnson.
You were crazy. Let me say this. You were crazy. I think you were crazy. Not you personally, Dan, but people were crazy saying, this team is going to win 9 games. And then they're going to – Dan, it's so great because people like the fanboys out there are moving the goalposts. I'm not saying it's Johnny Boy or Wild Wave. It's the people who said this team was going to win 9 games. They're going to move the goalposts. They're going to say, start of the season, this team's going to win 9 games. We're going to move the goalposts a little left here and say when their team's 0-3, you're going to give this team a chance. This, that, and the third, it's a rebuild. We weren't supposed to be good this year. It's the moving of the goalposts from some of these fanboys again. It's not Wild Wave. It's not Johnny Boy, but continue.
Okay. So this is it right here. Okay, look, Wild Wave. You expected a 4-6 win team.
That's fair.
Excellent. You know what? I'm going to give you that. Where on this schedule right now do you see us winning top 6, right? You said 6. I'm going to bring it up right now. Or the lowest end, 4. I don't see where. Let me bring this up here. Because I don't think the players even do. And not for nothing, what you brought up was very interesting. Where what if the Broncos, who are very well coached, beyond well coached, said, all right, you know what? If we just keep it low, we don't have to bust our asses. That's the insulting part. It was the first quarter, it was a 4th down in our own territory that the Broncos said, F you, Aaron Glenn. We're going to go for it. We're going to convert it. And we're going to catch you off sides and unprepared before the first quarter ends. And we're going to dig you a new 6-foot right hole for you to go in there and bury yourself. Bam, touchdown. One more thing about the very, very well coached team. Last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, had Justin Fields as quarterback at 4-2 with a freaking winning record. He benched him. Imagine what Tomlin saw out of Justin Fields to say, I've seen enough. Think about that. Same 6 games. We're 0-6 right now. What did Aaron Glenn see in Justin Fields to say, you know what? In week 7 against the Carolina Panthers, you're still my guy. You're still my guy. 4-2, Luca. 4-2. The Steelers were. And Tomlin benched him. In that Jets game, ironically, in that same Jets game, he said, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, it was in the ensuing week. They said, "Hey, we're going to flip to Russell Wilson now." And I thought I was one of the people who was like, "Hey, I thought Mike Tom was crazy." Obviously not. You could say last year, my Steelers friend would say it. He's like, "I was stunned too. I thought that was the wrong move." But at the end of the day, when you watch the Steelers collapse last year, it has nothing to do with Russell Wilson. But at the end of the day, he saw it, something better. He said essentially, we could go a level up. We're playing,
Crazy.
solid football. We're playing complimentary football. We're playing keep away football. What if I turned it up a notch?
Yep.
That's what he did. He said, we're going to turn it up a notch, and we're going to give this to Russell Wilson because there's a bit more of a ceiling here. That's it.
Have you seen how? Let me just bring this here. So after I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but it's going to sound like it. After we lose this game, this Sunday, then we have to travel to Cincinnati. You think we're stopping this? Check this out. Here.
I saw that. Yeah.
Look at this. Look at it. Touchdown.
I'm watching it. Yeah, I have the game on right now. They're playing back and forth with the Steelers with Joe Flacco at quarterback. That dude is a statue in the pocket. Excuse me. He's going to cook us alive.
Oh my goodness, 100%. Now to Vinny's point here, this is the sad part of the show, and I got to be honest, right? Because it does suck that we're going to trade him away. It does, because Breece Hall is one of those players where, man, it's fun having him as a Jet because he has so much potential, breakaway speed, catches out of the backfield, but the Jets don't utilize him the right way. And now entering his last season, the Jets, we all know that we're not going to pay him. Now we have to trade him away. It just sucks because when we drafted him, man, I felt good, man. I was like, wow, man, this is what a move. I think to trade up in the second, that was such a stellar draft class with the first 3 first-round picks that we landed, and then we get Breece. It felt like the year 2000, getting the 4 first-rounders. That's what it felt like. It felt just like that. And now here we are. We're here about to trade him. Gone. Now, if that returns into a 3rd or a conditional 4th, you know what, guys? If it's going to entice the next head coach of the New York Jets, I know you guys don't want to hear that. And one thing that I don't understand, Luca, maybe you could help me out. I don't understand this fixed mindset that we can go 0-17, and we're going to let's go through it. Let's go through it here. We're playing against the Panthers here. You saw how the Panthers have been playing the past 2 weeks.
I'll say it as well. You had Rico Dowdle rush for 183 yards against the Cowboys, which was unheard of. But you also have the Panthers. Bryce Young's playing well. The team's playing well. The defense is close to top 10 in pretty much every ranking. So that's going to be a challenge for the great quarterback that we have. But Dan, please continue.
Right. So now, after we go 0-7,
we have no wide receivers either, as you mentioned. You're right, Dan. We have no wide receivers.
None. All right, now we play against the Bengals right before our bye. 0-8. This is why we named this show that the Jets need therapy. And not only that, the weight of the losses is going to start affecting a lot of Jets fans. A lot. The ones that are doing everything they can to protect the castle. They're going to the front line. This is his first year. He has no players. The roster is barren. No, this is 0-8. Now we come back from the bye. Everybody is refreshed. You're going to start hearing Aaron Glenn and the players. You know what? First half of the season didn't go the way we want. We got our mindset. We got a break. We're ready to tackle the season. They come back against the Browns. And I would figure, just out loud, that Shedeur Sanders will be starting that game in New York. He's a primetime kind of guy. He's going to relish that right there. 0-9. The moment the Jets hit 0-9, let's go back to Wild Wave. 4 to 6 wins. We're at 0-9 right now. Now, again, you got to love primetime games, right? Don't you love primetime Jets? November 13th.
I forgot about Thursday Night Football.
Thursday night in front of everybody in Foxborough. That place is going to be sold out. I wouldn't even be surprised if Tom Brady goes there just for a good laugh.
Well, he's also the owner of the Raiders, but I get your point. But also as well, I'll be honest, the one game that I think is winnable out of the schedule for the Jets is the Brown game, obviously depending on the rookie quarterbacks and how they play. Patriots game, forget about it. Everybody forget about the Patriots. Dan, who was the team, and this was a very minority of fans, but the Jets tried to pom-pom this. Mm-hmm. Who was the team to gift the Patriots their quarterback?
The Jets.
You're absolutely right, because the Jets decided to win. You brought this up, Dan. A meaningless game in January in which the Patriots got Drake May. They have a more competent staff. Hey, they fired their coach year one. And here's the thing. People say, Gerard May was filler. Okay. But here's the hole in that logic. Mike Vrabel was available when they hired Gerard Mayo. Mm-hmm. The Titans just fired him. Why would you not hire him then?
Why not?
Why would you not hire him then, especially with the idea of possibly drafting a young quarterback and so, and having McDaniels as the OC and everything that's going on well right now? That could have happened a year prior. They didn't do that, though. So I don't think he was – I think it was just a bad job by Kraft to say, you know what, this was really bad. We're going to pay you, and we're going to go our separate ways. We're going to hire Mike Vrabel. But I would expect to get trounced in New England, and I hope they do.
Look at
because Drake May's a good quarterback.
Check this out.
Quick throw. Higgins inside the 10. Higgins from the.
They still got they got Joe Flacco at quarterback, and I'm watching the game. They still got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Who's covering them, Dan? Who's covering them?
Smoke us. Smoke.
What was the last time we actually won in Cincinnati? I think the answer would be the 2010 AFC wildcard game.
I think so.
That was the last time the Jets ever won in Cincinnati. I don't know about regular season, but just in general, that was the last time they won. And once again, Joe Flacco is making this team look competent. Competent.
Yep. Johnny boy with the jokes. Yeah, he's looking.
He did.
Have you seen Justin Fields lately? Like, to throw those remarks out there, it's like you forget who our quarterback is. Yeah, he's going to throw interceptions. We all know that. He's a gunslinger. But that's a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. Justin Fields is Brad Smith throwing the ball. Horrendous. All right, let's keep going with the schedule.
Let's see. Yeah.
All right. Then against the Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens have not looked too hot lately.
Yeah.
They haven't. But at this point, I would anticipate Lamar Jackson back.
Let me see something. Let me check his injury progress, because you could be right on that. JJ practice. Let me see if there's any injury updates regarding Lamar. Because, again, I just like you, Dan, I just want to confirm the facts behind this, see what his progress looks like. Central updates. Don't see. Let me double check, because I'm on this article right now. CeeDee Lamb, we know about that. Puka Nacua, Kyler Murray. But even if I don't get even if I get a very moot update, I think he could be returning. I think he's returning.
Yeah.
Who's to say Cooper Rush won't show up versus the Jets?
Dude, anybody could show up against the Jets. Freaking Tim Boyle.
We're the get right team.
Exactly. And then against the Falcons here at home, against Michael Penix. No. The Dolphins game is going to be interesting. All right. As much as I think the Jets are going to
Dan, I hate to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Forgot one key note.
What's
Who
that?
did the Falcons just beat recently? Who did they beat
Oh.
on Monday Night Football?
Was it the Pats, right? Wasn't it the Pats?
No, the Bills. They beat the
the
Bills.
Bills. Oh, yeah, the Bills.
They held the Bills to something like, let me double check, 14 points. 14. Now, their defense is stout, obviously. But I got a second-year quarterback beating Josh Allen.
Jeff Ulbrich ain't waiting for this game. He cannot wait. The Dolphins against the Jets. This is one where maybe the Dolphins might check out. Possible. This is going to be very interesting because this one right here, it might be the battle for the first overall draft pick. But then we go the following week against the Jaguars. The Jaguars, December 14th, they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot or even the division. Then we have the Saints. The Saints actually gave the Bills a hard time a couple of weeks ago. Then we play. Yeah, man. And then we play against the Pats and the Bills. And whoever thinks, oh, yeah, the Bills are just going to put the second, third stringers in there. Their third stringers are better than our first stringers. So, stop. Enough is enough. Now, at this point, we're going to bring on Six Rings. Six Rings, what's up, my man?
I'm good, man. Every day I call in, I try to think of something positive, but you guys just keep making more history.
We're not only we're making more history, we're making more
negative
sense.
10 passing yards. Negative how do
10.
you even get negative 10?
You play for the Jets.
A high school quarterback probably would have got you something.
Yes, and I would prefer a high school quarterback right now as opposed to Justin Fields. Man, he sucks.
That's insane.
He's horrendous.
Aaron Glenn continues 0-6. He'll probably go 0-7.
0-8.
People are saying you guys might go 0-17.
People like me.
That's insane.
Why? How is that insane?
0-17? That's got to be historically bad team.
It would be. It would be. We would become the first NFL team at 0-17. And that's something I want to see.
And
I want to see.
People are keep hanging on this illusion because the Lions did it at 3-13, and somehow the Jets.
Yeah, but Dan Campbell's a coach. The guy knows
how
to
replicate
coach.
it.
We don't have that. We don't have it.
And it's one little sample size. You know what I mean? One time it happened.
No, but that's the thing. The problem with the New York Jets locker room right now is that it's broken. And
Garrett Wilson, you guys aren't even throwing the ball at the end half. You guys gave up.
No, we do throw it to him, but it's inaccurate.
No, I meant at the end of the half. Remember Aaron Glenn, he didn't want to throw the ball?
Yes, but
he just stood around.
But again, Six Rings. 3 days later at the press conference, Aaron Glenn said, after really thinking about it, that was my fault. I take full blame on that. We really should have thrown a Hail Mary. Again, guys,
he messed up on his yards count.
It's a farm league of head coaches for the New York Jets. It's a farm league.
Right.
We always get these first-time head coaches. I'm just so done with that.
He couldn't even count the field goals. He said it was going to be 65 or something or 66.
Yeah, he was wrong on his math.
He was wrong on the math. It was 62 or something, and we're just
repeat that one, please. I need to really fully understand.
Aaron Glenn, he miscounted the field goal.
How far did he think that folk?
What was it? 65, 66? He thought it was.
And what was it in actuality?
62.
I'm done. I'm done with this guy.
You remember that, Luca? You heard about that.
Yes, I do. I remember hearing about that, yes.
And, man, the Jets, you gave us Tom Brady, and now you gave us Drake May.
Yeah, you have us to thank their Six Rings. And
you know what? I read something. Minnesota offered 3 firsts and a third for him.
Wow.
Just
and
remember.
You gave him to us. Thank you.
Just
Not
remember,
only did you give us Tom Brady with Mo Lewis, now you gave us our potential Super Bowl.
Yes.
Anyway, here's the thing as well. You know who we also gifted a franchise quarterback? The Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Remember, we beat them. We had Trevor Siemian and Brett Rippon play against the Commanders when they were like trash with Ron Rivera, 2023 December. I remember I was at work for that game. And they won a meaningless game. Fans, some fans celebrated that they would get blown out by the Browns the next week, and then they beat the Patriots, obviously, to give you guys Drake May, so you're welcome about that. But, just winning these meaningless games, that's a trend with the New York
I think
Jets.
you're going to do that again. I think you're going to win a meaningless game.
I don't think we can. I don't think this team is
wouldn't be
good
shocked.
enough. I would be shocked. I would. I got to be honest. Normally in the past, I would be like, the team has it in them. Like when we beat the Pats the last game of the season, was it 2 years ago? I expected that. When we beat the Commanders, I expected that. This team right here, Luca, I'm telling you, that's why a lot of New York Jets fans don't realize how bad that 95-96 team was. It was horrid. It wasn't football. It wasn't. And this is the SOB that we're saying he deserves a second year. It's the same fans that are saying, oh, Rich Kotite needs another year.
And the thing is, Garrett Wilson, he was so open on that last drive, and Field just.
Dan, I told you in the beginning of the
That's-
show, as a part of my opening statement, you guys, you older fans who saw the 95-96 teams with the Jets and Rich Kotite, you were all consensus. You were all like, this guy sucks. Don't let him come back. This is bad football. But unfortunately, there's a consensus of fans, which includes myself, that are like, this is bad football. We know bad football. We know bad coaching. This guy might need to go after the season.
Had this been
But then
Robert Kraft, Glenn might be gone. Had this
Yeah,
been
you're
Kraft,
right.
Glenn might be gone by now.
Six rings, you're so right about that. But then you got fans who are like, well, guys, what was supposed to happen this year? Not one like a competent football. But once again, people are mentioning it. Oh,
Listen,
well,
Gerard was a good linebacker. Great
he was a
player.
good linebacker, bad coach. And I six rings, I said if the Patriots really wanted to hire Mike Vrabel in 23, they could have, but they didn't. They hired Gerard Mayo for a year. Then they gave the cards to Mike Vrabel, which again they could have hired him first year, whatever. But again, there's this consensus, somewhat semi-small, medium consensus fans. Well, you got to give him another year. Us Jet fans are not stupid, especially the fans who grew up in the 2010s like myself.
I do not trust Aaron Glenn with that number one pick. I do not trust it. That's just
If it's a Patriots fan saying that, folks, that says something. But my overall point is we've seen so much bad football throughout the 2010s. Bowles, Gase, Saleh, Aaron Glenn, all these different guys, even the bad years of Rex. We know bad coaching when we see it. So you can't just deny the alarm bells when we ring the alarm bells and say, you know what, I've seen that before. It's just not realistic to me. I think it's just fanhood. And like somebody was like, oh, well, Aaron Glenn's one of us. First of all, he's not. I couldn't give a damn that the guy used to play for the New York Jets. I couldn't.
I want to see Tony Dungy's.
How did he mess
first
up on the
season.
field goal count? And he's a head coach at the highest level. And he can't count what a grade 8 can count. A grade 8.
So in
done that math.
96, Tony Dungy's first season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 6-10. 6-10. Tony Dungy took over a team with 13 consecutive losing seasons. 13. Despite a slow start that included an 0-5 record. Check this out. I like this one. This one's very interesting.
Anyways, man, before I go, if you give Glenn that number one pick, it's going to backfire. You were going to throw that kid in the Lions den.
I love you, man. You have a good night.
You're absolutely right.
Thanks for the positive
Bye. Yeah.
message. Here, let me show you this here. This is, again, I always like to see both sides of the fences, right? As horrible as Aaron Glenn has been. Let's look at this here. Tony Dungy. This is his first season. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have sucked for many. I think they still hold the record of most consecutive losses. I think it's 0-26 or 28. So when Tony Dungy came for 2 straight seasons, horrendous. But now this year comes to light. Tony Dungy's first season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 96, ended 6-10. They started, I believe, 0-5. Despite a slow start that included an 0-5 record, the team finished the season strong, winning 5 of their last 7 games. All right. You know what? 5 of their last 7 games. Let's look at this here. Jets, Bills, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say the Jets somehow go 7-9. They win 7 straight, Luca. 7. How would you feel about the New York Jets at that point? 7-9. Now the first overall pick gone. Bye, Fernando. Bye. Ciao, senor. Sick to your stomach, wouldn't it?
It would be, but also another thing, like, is the 7 wins good enough to wipe out these amount of 6 games where it's been so bad? That's the real question. It's not, obviously it's about wins and progress and all the, people could say that. Obviously, I said 5 to 7 wins was the range, the interval, but is that 7 wins like so good? Like, you actually see development of players, not just, remember, folks, Jets started out 1-7 in 2019 with Adam Gase.
Mm-hmm.
They won the last 6. They went 6-2 down the stretch. How did that pan over the next year? Was there real progress, or was the team benefiting off a soft schedule? Now, you obviously have Michael Penix, you have Trevor Lawrence, you've got some other teams in there as well. Is that progress really surmountable? Is the question. Is that progress really realistic? We're like, hey, there's actually things developing here. You're seeing a team get better. That's the main question.
Yes, but then continuing on with Dungy, future success. The 96 season laid the groundwork for future success, and the team went 10-6 in 97, making it to the playoffs for the first time since 82. So they were kind of almost in the same boat like we were. So again, I have no confidence whatsoever in Aaron Glenn. But I could also think that the Buccaneers in 96 were saying the same thing about Tony Dungy too, right? Again, we have to take a step back and look at this very objectively. And again, I am no Aaron Glenn apologist at all. I've seen this rerun before. But with that being said, I'm willing to say, all right, you know what? I want to see something, man. I want to see fight. I want to see, all right, you know what? Justin Fields, you suck. Right now, you're getting benched. Tyrod, let's win the game. If they go 2-5, 2-6, heading into the bye, that gives me hope. I got to be honest. That does give me a little bit of hope. As much as my sights are on the first overall pick, the quarterback, this whole regime change. But at 2-6, Luca, I'm looking at this like they didn't give up on the coach. They didn't. But like Wild Wave says, and I think you're 110% right, they're not benching him. And that's what pisses me off. Not at Aaron Glenn, not at Justin Fields. That's what pisses me off towards fans saying that Aaron Glenn deserves to be back next year. Because if you can't see that winning football is the name of the game. Herman Edwards said it. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. What are you doing leaving Justin Fields in there? What are you developing? You can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You can't. You can't do it. Can't. At what point is Aaron Glenn going to say, hold on a second. Hold on. You know what? my job might be on the line here. It might. I need to start winning games. I have to do anything and everything. Tanner, come here. You see that stuff that that offensive coordinator was doing in Detroit? Now he's the head coach of Chicago. Do that here, but we don't have the players. Do that here. That's what a head coach does. Do it right now. Steve Wilkes. Shut out a team in 1 quarter. 1 quarter. That's all I'm asking. And do it in 3 consecutive games. Do it. No, I can't. I gotta. Then if you can't do it, I need a defensive coordinator that can. Start holding your own coaches accountable. Your players. That's how you change the culture. I'm sorry, Luca. The culture has not changed at all. Nothing. Michael Clemens is still on this team. When does this change? Where do you feel, Luca, at this point where you would say, you know what? I've been a little harsh on Aaron Glenn. What would change your narrative?
That's a great question. And I've said it before on shows. I've said I've been willing to, say I'm wrong, given the results. There has to be some sort of surmountable progress. And could it be being 7 wins short? But that would be, I would still, I'm not going to lie to you, I still kind of be pessimistic because once again, I mentioned 2019, right? You don't want these meaningless wins to work out next year. You don't want that.
Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
I'm
the
so
Patriots
happy.
Patriots actually got Leonard Taylor. They signed him to the practice squad. Yeah.
What? We have the ineptitude of a different level here. Darren Muji is flawed as a GM. A complete failure right now. Failure.
Muji the Stooge.
Completely. What? Leonard Taylor, you cut him ahead of Clemens? Yo, Eagle fan, you nailed it here. Oh, my God. For all the teams that are playing us.
If that's not copium, I don't know what is.
I don't know, man. Drug tests. I'm telling you, look at all these players that have turned head court coaches.
Beal, here's the thing, right? People talk about, Johnny Boy was mentioned, maybe we're overvaluing our own players. Why do players of ours get traded or sign elsewhere and they get better? Are we overvaluing the players, or do we not consistently have the right coaching in place?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold, I was the guy that said, hey, after year 3, I'm done. Let him go elsewhere. Geno Smith. You can go down the list. There's names there. John Franklin Myers. We traded John Franklin Myers, and now he's an impactful defender for the Denver Broncos team we just played this Sunday.
Disgusting.
We trade away these players, we release them, but we can't say the coaching. We're going to justify the coaching.
This guy, Arian Smith, 4.2 speed. He's shown that he can catch the ball. You're telling me that you can't throw a bomb? Like it's maybe 3rd and 14. Teams do this to us all the time. They just throw it up. Flag, interference, automatic first down. I have not seen a bomb besides the one that imploded at One Jets Drive. Like this regime is horrendous. Then you have just no screen passes to the running back, nothing whatsoever. You know that teams are dialing up blitzes over and over, and nothing. There's no counter. There's no logic. I just it hurts because there are viable candidates. Now, this is a complete speculation I'm going to throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Gerard Mayo right now, this point of the game, just held the clipboard for a year, right? We know that, right? Okay. What about Aaron Glenn holding the clipboard for a year? What if it's Mike McCarthy? What if it's him?
Sure. I said that earlier, Dan. I'm not the biggest fan of McCarthy. I'm well aware of his flaws, but to bring this team back to an actual winning culture and some sort of sustainable results, sure. Because we are so lost at this point. And people will say, obviously there's Keith Glenn, and some people want enough to hire like the next best offensive coordinator. The Jets are so much in the pooper.
Mhm.
They're so down the toilet. They've dug this grave that is so deep. They cannot have a first timer, and it does. And to me, firing a first timer for hiring a first timer doesn't make any sense. So Mike McCarthy is a logical candidate to bring the power to and say, hey, you're going to be the guy that's going to try to turn around a franchise. John Gruden is surmountable, obviously, as legal obstacles. Those are the two I look at and say, you know what? They're available. And we need an experienced offensive head coach, not only to set the winning culture, but to develop the quarterback. That's that. Again, I'll say it 12 times over. I'm well of Mike McCarthy's flaws. Is he going to get you to Super Bowl? Probably not in this stage of the game. But he's going to set the culture. He's going to set a standard for winning, and there's going to be balance, and there's going to be sustainable winning. So
I can never have fathomed so many fans creating so much in order to defend these losses. Never. Even a screens. Dude, we're talking about screens here. This is the bread and butter of any offense in the playbook. And the Jets don't have that.
No.
Think about it. The Jets have a very good offensive line.
yeah,
Think of what was the stat this past Sunday of the time that Justin Field had in order to throw the ball, the most of any NFL team, the most. Give
5
me
seconds.
Give me not only Kingsbury, give me the Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't want this guy at the head coaching position coaching the New York Jets ever again. What else do you need to see? But the beautiful thing is that it seems like you and I and, a couple of other Jet fans are yelling in the wilderness. No one's listening. The moment we go 0-10, 0-13, we're going to have some company, Luca. We're going to have a lot of company where Jets fans, oh man, you are sadistic, bro. You are sadistic. Are you not entertained?
Another 2 years. Yeah. If we don't make the playoffs by then, at least once, then they should be fired. Then we'll miss out on the next great coach, which we always do, Dan. I always point out the Jets' lack of foresight. We'll give them another 2. The quote from Kevin from Let's Talk Jets Radio, and he says this has been the theme of the show for the past 10 years for their show. 2 years away from being 2 years away. That's
Always.
what it's going to be. You will continue that trend if all bodes well, and we're going to give this guy another 2 years. Because here's the thing, Dan. I mentioned this. I talked about the Titan situation. You bring in a quarterback next year with Glenn. He needs another 2 years. He needs another 2 years because you don't want to fire the coach immediately after the rookie season of a quarterback. Right. That's what we did to Sam Darnold. This
is big here, right? Once Glenn is gone, you think he ever gets a head coach gig again? Now, I have a rebuttal on that because the same was said about Todd Bowles. The same thing. But the only reason Todd Bowles got that gig as a head coach was because he was the defensive coordinator, reunited back with Bruce Arians.
Exactly.
That's it. Guys, don't get it twisted. Todd Bowles was never going to be a head coach in this league ever again. Ever. That's the only way I see Aaron Glenn being a head coach. And you know what? I'm with Armand on this.
I wouldn't mind Kingsbury.
I would love Kingsbury. I really would. Because he has a clue, number one. He's been a head coach, successful, I would believe.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Now, nothing like McCarthy. I get it. But at least we would be moving into an offensive side of the ball. The best part is that he would have this idea, a better idea of drafting a first overall selection with all this plethora of quarterbacks coming out of college. And you would have to think that we would get the first overall pick, maybe get Mendoza. That would be great. And maybe in the third round, drafting a Lar. And at that point, right, at that point, you have to have that San Francisco 49er mentality.
Mhm.
If Mendoza isn't the guy in year 2, but Drew Lar is showing you more, don't have this onset of what Saleh had with Zach Wilson forcing it while Mike White is tearing it up.
Exactly.
Like, we need that mentality of what's the most important thing here, developing or winning. The Jets are trying to develop a trash can into this golden statue. Name is Justin Fields. He's horrendous.
Awful.
He is not an NFL starting quarterback. He's a gimmick quarterback. That's what we're going to get here. Unfortunately, I was like, oh, maybe this might turn into like a Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, like you said, reclamation project. The project failed. It's over. It's done. At what point, Luca, do you think that he's going to get benched this week or no?
No.
Wow. Saying a lot. That is saying a lot. That's sick, man. That really is.
You see, I'll be honest, you'll see him stay in the game unless you see players start to quit. And I'll tell you this, and I might have mentioned this Sunday, I might have mentioned this another day. It wouldn't surprise me if the Jets defense quit this week because, there's again, I get it. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here, but like if the Jets defense was really playing well on Sunday versus the Broncos, and they were really making progress, they're going to be like, that was all for naught because as long as this quarterback is still under center, our defensive effort's going to get wasted. And the players like Sauce and Jermaine Johnson, like, this brings us to the Zach Wilson era. I think we're just going to quit. I think we're just going to call it quits and just let it be. Armin, you get no argument from me. As I said, I have my issues with McCarthy. That could be one of the outdated offense. You get no argument from me because Kingsbury, McCarthy, Gruden, you get no argument from me. You don't.
And you saw Brees Hall, his IG account. He checked out. He knows he's going to get traded. He's going to blow up wherever he goes. He's that good of a running back. And we need to start getting picks. It's a fire sale here, guys. After this week, we go 0-7. Don't kill me. Don't honestly. What have you seen the past 6 weeks that make you even think that we're going to beat the Panthers? We're going 0-7. At that point, I think we have one more week until the trade deadline. Is that right?
Close to that.
Close. So the longer the Jets wait to trade Brees, the crappier the offers are going to get. Because now the other teams are going to be like, all right, we'll just wait until he hits free agency. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Get
what you can. Somebody gives you a fourth, do it. Quinnen Williams, they call you. We'll give you a third. Do it. Really make it barren. Really, straight up. Straight. November 4th is a trade deadline. We got about 3 weeks.
Yeah, you got a few weeks to plan out. But, here's the thing, right? If all these people are going to come out here and say, Aaron Glenn doesn't have his players, wouldn't that be the perfect time to stockpile assets and say, let's rev up the trade engine?
Thank you. Yeah. Right. Well, this is the interesting part where I think maybe Woody is going to start meddling and the most important thing right now is to see where Woody's at regarding Aaron Glenn. If we start trading players And now the team itself says, okay. The organization just gave up on the season. We're 0-10. Everyone's gone. Garrett is now looking around like Will Smith was at the Fresh Prince on the season finale, looking around. At that point, nobody is giving anywhere near 70% effort. Gone. It's over. It's over. I would, you know what? Not for nothing, Johnny. I'd take this over what we have right now any day. Because what we have right now at 0-6, I'd rather be on the winning side of the ball with the Steelers than at 0-6. In rooting for the Jets to continue to lose, I'd rather watch games rooting for the Jets to win. I can't do that right now because I'm looking at the overall picture.
Yeah.
Start trading these players. Brees, Lazard, no one's traded for Cisco. No one. Nobody.
Unless you're getting like a 2027 seventh. I don't think Cisco's
nobody.
that line. Quincy
is injured, so you can't trade him. It just it's very gloomy right now, but in the grand scheme of things, I see a positive, a very big positive with the Jets. Continue to lose, continue to showcase what you are.
Yeah.
You are a badly coached NFL team. Your head coach has no idea where his elbow is from his ass. No idea. Nothing. He doesn't even know how to count field goal ranges. No idea what to do. Oh, he's a first timer. It's always like that. Always a first timer. I don't want a first timer for next year, selecting the first overall draft pick. But with that being said, we got a bit to do, my friend. Luca, I appreciate you so much, man, for hopping on, co-hosting with me. Special plug for the Gangrene Chronicles.
Gangrene Chronicles, yes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Going to have a very serious announcement in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to reveal it, though. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to gatekeep all y'all. But it's when things become official, I'll be making an announcement both on my Knicks channel and my Jets channel. So just going to put that out there. But continue subscribing to both channels. I appreciate, especially that Knicks basketball season we're less than 6 days away from. So I can't wait.
Did you hear that guy retired from the Knicks?
Yeah, he was their backup. He was slated to be their backup point guard, but he looked slow. He said basically he didn't have the passion. And, the dude's been run down by injuries the past couple of years. So I can understand where he's coming from. He's not a heartless guy. It's just you've been injured so many times in the past few years and you look slow. You don't see that you're able to do the task. Who's to blame you?
We've been injured as Jet fans. When are we going to start retiring? Well, anyway, everybody from the chat, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share the channel, and we appreciate everyone, your thoughts, your perspectives. We shall see you Sunday night for the post game. Should be very interesting. Let's go Jets. 0-7. Here we come.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss.